It was a quiet Saturday morning by my lake, the kind where the water glistened like glass under the rising sun, and the birds seemed to sing just for me. I had decided to pitch a small tent near the shore, planning a peaceful weekend with my family. Campfires, fishing, and total relaxation. Little did I know, Karen was already plotting to ruin it. She had apparently decided that this little stretch of my lake belonged to her, or at least that I had no right to be there. Within minutes of setting up, I spotted her luxury SUV barreling down the access road. Her expression, that same mix of entitlement and fury I'd grown accustomed to. She parked roughly 10 feet from my tent and stomped toward me. "Hey, you can't camp here. This is community property," she shouted, waving her arms wildly. I raised an eyebrow. "Actually, Karen, this is private land. I own this entire lakefront property. You might want to check your facts before making a scene." Her face twisted in disbelief. "That's impossible. Everyone says it belongs to the HOA. Everyone except the title company, apparently," I said, calm but firm. "Let me refresh your memory." I pulled out my phone and showed her the official deed, which I had recently acquired, making me the legal owner of the entire lakeside stretch she had just parked on. Karen's mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. I don't believe this." Before she could shout further, I casually waved toward the road, where a few of my associates had quietly arrived. "By the way, Karen, those barriers you see? They now belong to me too. You might want to rethink parking your SUV here." Panic flickered in her eyes as she realized she had no legal standing, no authority, and no backup. She turned to storm off, but I wasn't done. "One more thing," I said, smiling. "This little spot you think is community property? It's also where I keep a few surprises for unwelcome guests." Her eyes narrowed, suspicious. What do you mean?" I leaned casually against my tent. "Let's just say the dock has been fitted with a harmless but memorable deterrent. I suggest you leave before you get an uninvited bath." At this point, she hesitated, the gears in her head turning as she tried to figure out how to escape embarrassment and potential minor humiliation at the same time. Then, with a dramatic huff, she stomped back to her SUV, threw it into reverse and sped off, leaving a cloud of dust and a few startled ducks in her wake. Once she was gone, I turned to my son and daughter, who had been quietly watching the entire scene unfold. "Lesson number 1, I said, ruffling my son's hair. "Always check the deed before assuming anyone can tell you where you can and can't go." We spent the rest of the weekend fishing, swimming, and sitting by the fire without interruption. Every so often, a small ripple across the lake reminded me that owning your land comes with perks far beyond privacy. Sometimes it even comes with poetic justice. By the time Sunday evening rolled around, Karen had already made calls, complained to the HOA, and threatened legal action. I chuckled as I watched my kids pack up the tent. She didn't realize that by the time she contacted anyone, I would have already bought the entire street leading to the lake, sealed off unauthorized access, and ensured my family would never be disturbed again. That night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I leaned back in my chair, watching the gentle waves lap the shore. The lake was mine, the weekend was ours, and Karen had learned, once again, that entitlement without legal proof is nothing but a fast track to humiliation.